Ever wondered if cows and goats are smarter than we give them credit for? What if I told you there's a cow out there right now solving puzzles ... for a back scratch? Or a goat who's basically running a jailbreak operation on a peaceful English farm? Yeah, this isn't your average day in the barnyard. Stick around, because we're re-diving into some mind-blowing moments where animals show off their intelligence in ways you never expect. Just a little rub, because to really enjoy this new toy, the cow has to understand something deeper. It only spins when you trigger it. That means you've got to be brave enough to go up to it and smart enough to connect the dots. And boom, the brush comes to life. Let's start with something deceptively simple: an itch. Cows love a good scratch. And someone out there has invented a genius solution: a solar-powered, fully automatic cattle brush. Sounds fancy, right? But here's the twist. It only starts spinning when a cow brushes up against it. They're thinking, experimenting, learning from each other, and most surprisingly, enjoying the process. So now the challenge becomes more than just scratching an itch. It's about figuring out how to activate the thing. At first, the herd barely notices the strange contraption. Meet Rupert. And the data's clear. When they solve a problem, their heart rate spikes. It's a biological indicator of joy. Pure cow excitement. He figured out that too, using his nose to lift the latch and slide the bolt. Naturally, they assumed it was a coworker. But nope, in walks Rupert. Goats, unlike humans, don't have opposable thumbs. But what they do have is a very mobile split upper lip. And he's not just doing this for fun. He's changing the entire social dynamic of the goat herd. It's a built-in tool they can use to manipulate objects, just like Rupert does, casually holding an important piece of paper in his mouth, like he owned the place. And yes, herd animals like goats have more opportunities to learn by observing each other. And it looks like Rupert's been paying it forward. Didn't I already put that one away? They think they did. Natalie just had other plans. Fresh grass is a way bigger priority. But give it half an hour, and you'll see the curious cows start to wander over. The sanctuary has gone from a peaceful farm to an ongoing battle of wits. That cow cracked the code, and now, just like in any great discovery story, the rest of the herd is lining up to try. One by one, they realize what this thing can do. It's not just a brush, it's a tool, and they're the ones in control. They're all in on it. It's like Ocean's 11, but with goats. Natalie, in particular, is infamous. She waits until the humans finish locking everyone in for the night, then sneaks back and quietly lets everyone out again. They sniff it, they stare, they drool, and then finally, one brave cow leans in. She nudges it. It's a breakthrough, the first step. Now she knows it moves if you touch it. But that's just the beginning. And this girl, she's got it. There she goes. A single step toward bristly bliss. The brush stops, but she doesn't give up. Nope, she tries again, nudges the brush, and this time she goes all in. She's done it. She's unlocked the magic of the scratcher. And the best part, she feels it. Scientists have measured cow heart rates during moments like these. You're not just watching an animal use a machine, you're watching a Eureka moment. We often overlook cows as emotional or intelligent creatures, but this scene paints a very different picture. They're not just reacting instinctively, and cows aren't the only unexpected geniuses on the farm. Over in Kent, England, at the Buttercup Sanctuary, there's another furry rebel rewriting the rules of animal intelligence. Rupert's not just any goat. He's a 7-year-old kinder goat with a particular talent. He can pick locks, and no, that's not an exaggeration. The staff at the sanctuary were working one day, computers open, papers everywhere, when the door swung open. Rupert has a passion for opening doors. First, it was basic bolts. Then they tried to outsmart him by adding a latch. Didn't work. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. In the wild, that lip helps them graze or forage in tricky places. In Rupert's case, it's his lock-picking secret weapon. So the humans keep adjusting the locks, raising the challenge, and Rupert keeps adapting, like a fluffy little mastermind. According to animal behavior research, species that live in social groups, like primates, wolves, because now he's got a crew. Meet Max, meet Natalie. The staff are baffled. These animals aren't just escaping, they're strategizing, watching, learning, teaching, and honestly, the goats are winning. We've all heard of clever dogs and crafty cats, but what about the unsung geniuses of the barnyard? Turns out, Some of our farm friends are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And today, we're diving into the world of clever cows and mischievous goats, animals that are rewriting the rules of what we thought we knew about animal intelligence. Let's start with a story that's been making waves in the animal behavior world. Picture this: a peaceful sanctuary in Kent, England. Buttercup Sanctuary for goats. Sounds idyllic, right? Well, not for the staff who kept finding their goats wandering free every morning. These crafty creatures weren't just escaping, they were picking locks. The ringleader, a goat named Rupert, this billy goat extraordinaire, figured out how to use his horns to flip the latches on the gates. And he didn't keep this skill to himself. Soon, his pals Natalie and Max were in on the act. Before long, the staff were dealing with nightly prison breaks, courtesy of their four-legged hoodiness. This kind of goat behavior isn't just funny, it's revealing. These animals are showing signs of problem-solving, social learning, and strategic planning. That's not just clever, it's advanced cognition. And it flips the script on how we see so-called simple farm animals. But we're not done. There's another story, and this one is even more surprising. Let's head to Yorkshire, where a farm family was raising pigs the traditional way, feeding them, watching them grow, and eventually selling them for meat. But one pig had other plans: meet Bentley. Bentley was meant to be part of the meat trade. But early on, it became obvious that this pig was ... different. Not only did he bond deeply with his owners, but he began doing things pigs typically don't do, like gently picking up and placing objects, or responding to his name with a kind of excitement more associated with dogs than livestock. He wasn't just friendly, he was engaging. He made eye contact, understood routines, and seemed to want to be involved. So they made a choice. Bentley wouldn't be bacon, he'd be family. Today, Bentley's got his own cozy pen, filled with toys, treats, and constant human attention. He communicates his mood: grumpy, playful, bored. With clear signals, one of his favorite things is pushing a rubber ball toward his humans and waiting for them to roll it back. That's right, pig fetch. And this isn't a fluke. Pigs are increasingly being recognized as one of the most intelligent domestic animals on the planet. Multiple studies have shown that pigs can understand mirrors, solve mazes, remember specific food locations, and even use simple symbols to interact with humans. Their intelligence level is often compared to that of dogs or even 3-year-old children. Bentley's just one example, but he's a powerful one, because when you look into his eyes, you can tell there's something going on in there. And once you've seen that, it becomes harder to see animals as mere units in a system. Back at Buttercup Sanctuary, Rupert's legacy continues to evolve. The staff had to rethink their entire door locking strategy, but instead of just getting frustrated, they leaned in. They began creating enrichment tasks for the goats: puzzles, challenges, hidden treats. Why? Because a bored goat is a destructive goat, but a mentally stimulated goat, that's a different story. One of their most popular additions: a treat box with a sliding latch. The goats quickly figured it out. Then the staff changed the design, added a twist, made the puzzle harder. And again, the goats adapted. What started as a solution to a lock-picking problem turned into a full-on cognitive playground. Goats aren't just thriving physically at this sanctuary, they're thriving mentally. And here's where it gets really fascinating. Just like with humans, mental stimulation in animals has measurable benefits. It reduces stress hormones, boosts immune function, and leads to healthier, more social behavior. In other words, giving animals the opportunity to think, to explore, experiment, and solve improves their entire quality of life. And the payoff isn't just for the animals. The staff now spend more time observing behaviors, recording, learning patterns, and even trying to figure out who taught who. Because that's the thing, when one goat learns something, the others are watching. Rupert may have started the lock-picking revolution, but Natalie and Max didn't learn that in a vacuum. They were paying attention. This is social learning in action. It's the same mechanism that underpins language development in children or tool use in primates. And here it is. In a group of goats in Kent, and while they might not be writing symphonies or building skyscrapers, these goats are showing the same kind of adaptable intelligence that helps any species survive in a complex world. Whether it's cows discovering mechanical brushes, goats staging nightly prison breaks, or pigs like Bentley showing emotional depth and memory. These moments challenge us to rethink what intelligence looks like. It's not about talking or typing or taking tests. It's about learning, teaching and understanding the world in a meaningful way. And maybe, just maybe, the barnyard is a little more brilliant than we thought.